Tottenham Hotspur, whatever happened to the days of getting into Champions League finals with Mauricio Pochettino? Last season, an absolute workhorse manager, Antonio Conte, was sacked midway through and ended up finishing in 8th position. I think there's no team more that needs a rebuild in the Premier League. Spurs in dire need. We've got Harry Kane for one more season, possibly more, depending if we can lift some trophies. We've got a fairly shoestring budget, so it's not going to be easy to attract players. And to be honest, an ageing side. So this might be one of the hardest realistic rebuilds we have done yet. So make sure to strap yourselves in and enjoy the next 5 years of a Spurs rebuild. What's going on there, guys? Kempy here and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video from myself. This video has been delayed. It's on Sorted Out SI, and that's because FM dropped a massive banger news of FM24 and FM25. So if you want to hear about that, that was released on Thursday in said. I am so excited for that. Just to give you guys my little opinion, I'm buzzing. FM25 is going to be absolutely massive, and you know what, why not subscribe a year early on? Get locked into Sorted Out SI and myself, and the content is going to absolutely flow. Today we're rebuilding Spurs, so make sure you drop a like in the video, you're subscribing to the channel, and we're going to get right into it. I did a little intro at the start about Tottenham Hotspur and how the mighty have fallen. I mean, I'm not saying they're mighty because, I mean, if you look at the trophy cabinet, it's a little bit, I mean, it looks great here, but realistically, it's a little bit dire in recent years. I mean, the last thing I think is 1991, an FA Cup. I don't think they've won anything since then. A Carabao Cup in 2008. I think I was on the Martin Yo, if my memory serves me correctly. But a major trophy, FA Cup, Premier League, Champions League, has not been won since 1991. It's 32 years for Tottenham Hotspur, and it's been a rough couple of years as well, as Arsenal are now doing very, very well. But luckily, we're here to save Spurs with the brand new gaffer as well. Ange Postecoglou has come in. We've made him our assistant manager, and he will be taking charge of every single game over this save. So I'm very excited to see what he can do. We've got a new 4-2-3-1, a new 4-3-3 system as well. A little sneak peek here into the transfers we have made. We've gone ultra realistic for this season. Vicario is in goal, sweeper keeper and support, ease off tackles. Brand new signing, man from Empoli. Yep, in Empoli in Italy. So who knew he was coming? I've not really seen him much, to be honest. He's a 2.5-star ability goalkeeper. Interesting to see what he turns into. 6'4", a decent keeper, but you know, not the greatest. We managed to pick him up for 8.5 million. I think they've paid about 18 in real life. Excited to see what Vicario can bring for us. Pedro Porro as the inverted wing back on the right back role. A very, very attacking player. We do know that. He loves to bomb forward, so it'll be exciting to see how we can do with Pedro Porro. And Destiny Adoji as well, come back off his loan spell with Udinese, is going to be our inverted wing back on support on the left hand side. Again, very intrigued to see how we can do another very attacking fullback. Mickey van der Ven is the next signing we have made. He's been heavily linked to Spurs in real life. Him and Edmund Tapsoba look to be the two men that have been highly touted for Spurs, and we've signed him for £30 million from VfL Wolfsburg. Very fast. If you guys haven't seen the video of this man running back from the penalty area of the other team and blocking a shot on the line, watch it. It's outrageous. That 17 pace should be 20. He is so fast. He is 6'4", and I think he's going to be a fantastic signing for Spurs. And next to him is Romero as well. Two ball-playing defenders on defend. No further instructions. Basuma I've got sitting just in front with more direct passes and tackle harder. That is obviously going to be Pierre-Emile Højbjerg as well, or Ollie Skip, or Tanguy Ndombele. Centre mid on support on the right-hand side is Bentancur, moving the channel to close down more and tackle harder. And as I record this today, James Maddison has just been unveiled as a brand new Spurs player as well. So a central midfielder, what have I got him as? A Mezzala on attack, dribble more and run wide with the ball. A fantastic signing, £40 million. I think he is a very, very talented player. I think there's absolutely no doubt in that. We picked him up for 58 million, which shows how much FM values him at. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great signing for Spurs, and hopefully can help that sort of creative piece that's missing in the midfield. Obviously, when you play Conte ball, you're going to have Basuma, Højbjerg, Bentancur, quite defensive midfielders, but that creative spark in Maddison could be vital to getting the best out of this front three. With Heung-min Son on the left-hand side, a very quiet year last year in real life. We've got him as an inside forward in attack with roam from position and sit narrower. I am keeping a firm eye on this man because he could be leaving the club very soon, depending on how he does in the next coming years. He needs to revitalise his career, and if Harry Kane leaves, I think we'll move on Son as well. Kulusevski, obviously a permanent signing on the right-hand side now. We've got him as an inverted winger on attack on the right-hand side, with roam from position and sit narrower. And a centre forward, a complete ball and attack up front, with shoot more often and tackle harder. That is the star man, Harry Kane. Is he going to stay past this season? I have got the contract set to currently be as of next year. I've not made it, so we're set to release him. I'm going to see if we win a trophy. I'm going to see if we can qualify for Champions League. That is going to be the goal for this season, to try and keep Harry Kane. You can see the signs we made there. The sales we ended up making, Davinson Sanchez left to West Ham for 8 million, Gio Lo Celso to Barca for 7.5 as well. Then also Ben Davies to Brighton for 12 million, 15 million for Sergio Reguilon as well. Elfie Devine, a fantastic young centre mid, had to go on loan to Plymouth in the Championship, so it'll be interesting to see how he can do. The development centre, Papameta Sarr is looking to go out on loan, as is Troy Parrott. It is 20 youth facilities here at Spurs, so hopefully we get some banging wonder kids come through the academy. We are predicted to come down in 7th position by the media, so not looking easy for season 1 with Spurs. I've got all the brand new signings in, but the question is, how are we going to do? So let's go right into it. Season number 1 with Spurs. If you guys can, make sure as well to like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Kempy as well, myself. It helps me out massively. KempyXI on YouTube, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. Links will be down in the description. Also, Shadow Striker / Anders as well. He's an absolute legend. He's been pumping content out recently as well. So subscribe to all 3 of us. Make sure you're liking this video. This is part of a rebuild battle. I did an Arsenal rebuild on Wednesday, so make sure you're heading over there as well and liking and watching that one. Unless you're a Spurs fan, please don't dislike it. Thank you very, very much. Now, for some reason I managed to mess up saving a game. I know, absolutely baffling. I'm useless. But the Premier League title turned out like this. We come 2nd place in the Premier League. Now, if that's not enough to convince Harry Kane and Heung-min Son to stick around for this Spurs project, I don't know what is. 5 points away from the title, 86 points is an outrageous season considering where we were last year. Sadly, I can't really show you much in depth on stats. Again, apologies. The only year I managed to mess up, and it's year 1, probably the most important. So I might as well be fired, to be honest. But Harry Kane, 32 goals and 6 assists last season. He is sticking around. He's got a brand new contract till 2026. And I think that's realistic. I think if Spurs this season finish 2nd in the Premier League, 5 points off winning a trophy, not winning the FA Cup, not winning the Carabao Cup, but back in the Champions League, Harry Kane would certainly be staying at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So that is what we have done. We've kept him around. And Heung-min Son, well, I said he'd have to have a good year last year. And my God, 38 appearances in the league, 19 goals and 17 assists, nearly getting 20 and 20. The true Harry Kane and Son revival was back in full swing last year, which is exactly what we wanted to see. And Dejan Kulusevski last season as well, on that right-hand side, chipping in with 9 goals and 9 assists is exactly what we wanted to see. Now, James Maddison, first season at Spurs, 13 goals and 15 assists. Spurs fans, are you taking that season 1? I think you'd bite someone's hand off for that season 1, wouldn't you? Unbelievable season from James Maddison as well. Bentancur in midfield doing absolute wonders. 2 goals, 7 assists. A very cool head meant to be in there. Transfers wise for this season, I've already done them for season 2. Like I said, I messed up. Apologies. But we have made 2 signings. We've brought in Postecoglou's man. It's Liel Abada from Israel. Now, this man has been at Celtic for a couple of years since Postecoglou come in, and last season he banged in 11 goals and 6 assists in probably the toughest league in the world, the Cinch Premiership. They actually lost. Oh my God. I did that as a comedic joke that, you know, Celtic win the league every year and they've bottled it. So thanks, Celtic, you've ruined a joke. But Liel Abada has come in, £26 million. A very good right winger, and I think is a very realistic signing. Again, this is a realistic rebuild, so bring him in, see what he can do. He's going to be a backup to Kulusevski, and I'm sure we'll get some games on the left-hand side as well. Or maybe not, because Andreas Schelderup has been brought in. He's just moved to Benfica in real life. A year and a half there to see what he can do. Not a lot of game time, so it's time he comes to England. £34.5 million. How has that happened? They spent £7.5 million on him. He played 7 games and we paid 35 million. But We paid for the talent. Andreas Schjelderup, we all know who he is. He's a fantastic left winger. And again, could definitely be a Heung-min Son replacement. Great dribbling, great first touch, decent enough finishing, good on the pace, great flair, off the ball, technique, works hard, cuts inside from the left wing. So a very interesting signing as well. And the last one we have made is Latoshel Gertrudia, who I again think today has just moved to RB Leipzig. So apologies, it's not a full realism in this one, but a very, very good centre back with him. Amazing player, can play centre back and right back, 6 foot tall, extremely quick. Got very good marking, tackling and heading, which is lovely to see. And gets forward if possible, so why wouldn't you want your centre back trying to score some goals? He's very consistent, he loves a big match, and again, very happy to get that signing over the line. Sales-wise, Jed Spence left the club for 8 million. It hasn't worked out. See you later, Jed. And anyone else going off was Tanguy Ndombele, went to West Ham. He didn't play too much this season. In fact, he played 11 games and did now. So he is out the door as well as there was one more on that list that I saw. Eric Dyer has left for 7.5 million to Leicester, back in the Premier League, I believe. They are indeed, so they've brought him in. He played 36 games last season, so fair play to Eric Dyer. Mickey van der Ven last season, did he play much? He played 36, so happy to see he was getting the game time as well. So a decent season for us in Season 1. Back in Champions League football. Season 2 is about a trophy. We need a Carabao Cup, we need a FA Cup, we need a Champions League, we need a Premier League, but we'll see. Season 2, let's get right into it. Well, I said we needed the trophy, and it's come with a little bit of luck as well. Last season, we only got 82 points. We got, I think, 89 last season. What a great memory that is. I recorded it 5 seconds ago, and I can't remember the points tally. But 82 points in season number 2 gives Spurs a Premier League trophy. They tried to bottle it with a few games to go. A 2-1 loss to Arsenal at Spurs' stadium. God, they would have liked that one. But a 1-0 win against Forest, a KG Gertrudia goal, and a 2-0 win away at Spurs lifted them the trophy with Kulusevski and Harry Kane scoring, both just before the stroke of half-time. Lifts Tottenham a major trophy for the first time since 1991. Now that is worth a like. A big win for Spurs. Sadly, not winning the Champions League, lost in the semi-finals by Liverpool. Liverpool are Spurs' nemesis. 5th round FA Cup by Newcastle, and Carabao Cup 4th rounded by City. So, you know, City, at least, where's your trophy? Did you win? Oh, you won the FA Cup. Honestly, I'm being made to look like a mug in this video by FM, so, bit of an annoying one, that one. But yeah, you know, a very good season, very happy. We've lifted the trophy. I wanted to lift the trophy in this rebuild. That is what I wanted to do. If it wasn't in Season 2, I'd end the rebuild. A major trophy has been won. Postecoglou has won Manager of the Season as well. But how ridiculous was that be? I think we might as well try and win a treble. We might as well go on to the 5-year point if we don't win a treble. So we'll see how we do. This season we have got a proper season because I managed to save it correctly. 35 goals and 8 assists for Harry Kane. 18 and 14 from Heung-min Son. Proving it wasn't a one-season wonder. But maybe the legs are catching up to him. Dejan Kulusevski definitely picking up some slack with 12 goals, 18 assists. James Maddison, 10 and 11. Bentancur, 4 and 2. And Basuma with 10 goals and 9 assists is fantastic to see. Off the bench, 13 and 7 for Andreas Schjelderup, and 7 and 9 from Liel Abada helps lots as well, because having 2 wingers off the bench that can actually play football is very, very, very helpful. And we have got £53 million to spend this summer as well, so I'm sure it's going to be a summer where we look to build a Premier League trophy. Maybe we'll get 2 or 3 in this 5 years. That would be fantastic. A fantastic stat line in the Data Hub as well, with 2.29 goals per game, conceding just 0.92. We were the dominant team on the pitch. We won the league. We scored the most goals. We were 2nd in fewest conceded and 7th in possession. But when you score the most goals, you're an attractive, fun team to watch, and you win the title, and your name is Tottenham Hotspur, well, something's gone on. A very, very good season for this one. I think I've showed you the transfers already. I have, haven't I? I'm all a bit confused. We're going to go ahead now, Season 3. I'll show you the transfers of that one and how we do in terms of trophies. Can we bring another one home? Can we make it, you know, not to be a thing to be Spursy and not win trophies, to be a thing to be Spursy and win trophies? That is the goal. Let's change this mentality. Well, as good as Vicario might be in real life, I've not got so much faith that he's that good on FM. And there's one man who is certainly fantastic on FM, and his name is Mike Maignan, a fantastic goalkeeper from AC Milan. He is now 30 years of age. That's a spring chicken for a keeper. £50 million spent, 36 appearances in the league, 35 goals conceded, a 7.02 rating. fantastic goalkeeper, extremely consistent, loves a big match. And I feel like, you know, in a couple of years, if Spurs were to win a league, Vicario might be replaced. They have done it with Vicario in goal. But Mike Maignan is a very, very good signing. Mateus Franca has been brought in as a young backup central midfielder. Great potential on him. 39 appearances off the bench is great to see. Extremely consistent. A few game time, 0 goals. But 3 assists is fantastic to see. Nassar Mazraoui has come in as well. A right back and a player that I like a hell of a lot. Inverted wing back on support, it says 2-star. He can certainly do this role very well. He's great on the ball. He's got a good first touch. He's good at passing. He's decent defensively as well. Extremely consistent. Loves a big match. And has previously been smashing it at Bayern Munich a couple of seasons. He decided he wanted a challenge. He wanted to come to the Premier League, and I think he's certainly a defensive improvement on Pedro Porro. It was an expensive one at £35 million, but one I think was certainly necessary. And I mean, we did bring in a fair whack of money as well, and 45 of that was from Pedro Porro, moving on to Manchester United, with 19 million also coming in from Japhet Tanganga. And that is why we had to make another defensive signing. And Alessandro Buongiorno is the man who brought in. The man from Torino ended up moving to Inter Milan, and we've signed him a year later after playing just 20 games for double the price. Premier League tax, £44 million, but a very good centre-back, loves a big match, extremely consistent, 6'3", 27 years of age, an Italian international, played 11 games in the Premier League, in the Champions League, 27 in the Premier League, and you're all wondering, did we go back-to-back? Did we lift another trophy? Did we win a Champions League? We've won trophies and we nearly won a Champions League. We got to the semi-final, we got to the final, losing 2-0 to PSG. And to be honest, we turned up on the day as well. But Wilfried Gnonto and Kylian Mbappe scored the goals in the final. We were decent, only one shot on target isn't so decent, but we did manage to lift the FA Cup as well. We brought that back to Spurs. A 1-0 victory against City in the final was fantastic to see. 19 shots to their 7. Certainly a deserved win. Kulusevski getting the winner in that one. The Premier League, we dropped off. We Spurs. We come 5th, 72 points. Luckily, due to our UEFA coefficient, we are still in the Champions League. Victor Osimhen has gone to United and bagging goals, but not winning in the Premier League, which is annoying for me. You can tell I'm a United fan, but, you know, very good to see him battling Erling Haaland. I hope that happens in real life. Harry Kane, 21 goals this season, maybe is getting to that point where needing to be replaced. 37 and 10, I mean, that is still fantastic. Son, 20 and 13, still fantastic. Kulusevski, 12 and 10, still fantastic. Maddison, a very similar season to last. Basuma, still loving goals and assists, which is great to see. And Liel Abidal has certainly stepped up this season. 14 goals and 14 assists for the Israeli man. What a signing this is. I'm very happy with this one. Like I said, a very realistic signing in my opinion. £26 million. Playing for Celtic, played on the Postecoglou. A great signing. And Andreas Schöderup as well with 15 goals and 5 assists. I think it's proven to be massive to have 2 wingers on the bench that can come in and do absolute work. So very happy with them 2 coming in and doing bits as well. I am going to say this. The youth system here at Spurs is set to be 20. It's crap. We've got absolutely nothing come through the under-18s. There's nothing in the 21s. I believe this is a complete and utter lie. So, you know, we'll move on from that, shall we? Season 4. Now can we win another Premier League? Can we finally lift this Champions League trophy? We need to win. No, we don't win it. Do we need to win a Carabao? We've won a Carabao, haven't we? We haven't won a Carabao. So we need to win the Champions League and the Carabao to finish off this, you know, trophy haul as a Spurs gaffer. So that would be fantastic. Let's see if season 4 we can make a dent in one of them. Well, I decided for season 4 to make it Harry Kane and Heung-min Son's last season, allowing them to leave on free transfers. I basically said it in the contract bit as set for release. So they would be leaving at the end of their contracts, and that I think is the best thing to do in this Spurs rebuild. You know, go 4 years into the future. Number 5 will obviously try and revamp Spurs without their 33-year-old now talisman and their South Korean star at left wing as well. He's done decent this season, but you can certainly see his age is catching up to him. Just 10 goals and 10 assists. Harry Kane did not hassle that at all. 32 goals and 7 assists. But it's time to move on. And how did they leave us in terms of trophies? Surely we won the Champions League, didn't we? No. And we also come runners up in the Carabao, which is extremely frustrating because we're not even going to be in the Champions League for season 5. We come 6th. I think we didn't move on. I think classic Spurs, we got stuck with Harry Kane, with Heung-min Son. We didn't move on and we got punished. 68 points, Brighton overtaking us. You know what? We would have won this league in every single one of our other seasons as well. 78 points was enough to win it. We were 10 points off that, and we have definitely got 78 in all 3 seasons. So very frustrating, but it's time to move on from our talisman Harry Kane. FA Cup 5th rounded by City, Champions League 16 rounded by Chelsea. Carabao Cup we lost in the final on penalties to Everton, which makes it even worse. We could have won every trophy in England at least, but sadly not. Spurs being Spursy. Transfers wise for this season, I'll tell you what we did do. We did sign Thomas DePazzo. Now this guy is not real, and if he was real, I'd be very scared. He's 6'6", he's Argentinian, he's got 17 finishing, decent pace, great determination, great technique, and I tell you what, he's a fantastic backup striker. 3 appearances last season, 20 off the bench, and 12 goals is much better than anything Richarlison was doing for us. So very happy to get him in. Including Richarlison, he left the club this season for 10 million, Sessegnon for 11, and Emerson Royale for 13 as well. We also brought in Ivan Fresneda. He has been over at PSG for a few seasons now after going to Saudi, like everyone else. The best young player in the game has left there. But he went to PSG, did nothing, so we signed him for 5 times the price. It's becoming a bit of a theme, this, isn't it? But a very, very good wing-back, an inverted wing-back on support. Again, it certainly suits the role. Great concentration, decisions, anticipation, great dribbling, first touch, passing, decently paced as well when 22 years of age. And an unbelievable right-back, and is now worth £130 million. And we also signed Ronnie Ellie, a Brazilian left-back, purely for potential, 5-star backup. Destiny Udogie is fantastic, so we don't really need to touch him. So a young Brazilian left-back is what we brought in as well. But Season 5 is going to be very, very interesting. You know, what signings can we make? Can we replace the goals of Harry Kane and Heung-min Son? It's certainly going to be difficult, but let's go forward to Season number 5, 2028. What is the Tottenham Hotspur looking like, and who is leading the line? Well, Harry Kane has left us to go to Chelsea after all of this time. That's a bit of a killer, that one. Harry Kane, 20 goals and 4 assists for Chelsea. It would have been nice, you know, just to not go and kick Spurs in the back after all of these years. And Heung-min Son has left us to go to awaited typing Heung-min Son. Oh my God, is he retired? Heung-min Son, where have you gone? He's gone. He's absolutely legged it. Son Heung-min. Hang on, lads. You'll have to wait with me. He's gone to Atletico Madrid. That's a decent season. 38 games, 10 goals and 8 assists. A very, you know, Heung-min Son kind of season at 35 years of age, I think, is to be expected. Just 10 pace left on him now. In terms of all transfers we made this season, we spent a fair whack of money, and one of the big signings was Ewan Lacombe, young centre-back. Again, I do build these rebuilds for you guys on Patreon. You can come over to my channel and find that link. So if you want to pick up from Season 5, you can do. And I do sign very good young players for you guys to use as well. So Ewan Lacombe is one of them. And the other one is Henrique Araujo, who we chose to lead the line instead of Harry Kane. Lots of money spent on him. He's been at Bayern Munich, but he's got 16 finishing, great determination, great pace as well. 6 foot tall, 26 years of age. And the last one was Lucio Fernandez to try and replace Heung-min Son, as well as being a backup to Andreas Schelderup. So, you know, we had to see what we could do. It's a very, very difficult transition period. And I think that shows in the fact that we've won the Europa League, which is fantastic. So we are back in the Champions League. But over the season, we come 7th. And Maddison and Kulusevski were our top goal scorers on 11 goals. It turns out replacing Heung-min Son and Harry Kane is an almighty task for Tottenham Hotspur. Kulusevski, 21 goals, 10 assists. Maddison was 17 and 16. Schelderup with 15 and 9. Leo Abada was 7 and 15. Is still amazing to see. But a complete drop-off in the league. Luckily, we beat Sparta Prague. I love Sparta Prague. Very good club in the final of the Europa League, but 5th round in the FA Cup by Arsenal. And semi-final in the Carabao by Liverpool means that is the one trophy that we didn't lift. We lifted the FA Cup. We lifted the major European trophy of the Europa League, and we also lifted the Premier League. And Tottenham Hotspur fans, if you're telling me you wouldn't take that in the next 5 years, you're lying. You're kidding yourself, because of course you would. Make sure you're liking the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Kempy, subscribe to Shadow Striker, and I thank you guys for watching. We'll speak to you next time.